In the headlines, returning Dominicans told that government is still interested in building an international airport. DHTA supports plans for a hospitality school on the island, and 20 individuals to be honored for their service to country on Thursday. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News details after this. Thank you for staying with us. We begin with this item that the programs and the educational initiatives of the Ministry of Education and the Government of Dominica alone cannot close the achievement gap. Minister for Education, Honorable Peter Serja, speaking at the 2016 National Youth Rally, said it was up to parents to assist their children academically. Serja believes combining those efforts could lead to an improvement in the literacy level.
For it is only when you build upon what is taught at schools can the child's learning horizons be expanded. I therefore wish to sound a call to all parents to recommit yourselves to support your children. I further wish to take this opportunity to once again thank the many contributors to our success as an education system over the past year.
Dominica 2016, Tasia Flosak sounded a call for the preservation of Dominica's culture.
And it is my belief that regardless of how Americanized or modernized we may become, all these different cultural aspects should remain constant in our lives. In fact, it should be mandatory from a government standpoint to ensure that all schools adopt programs geared towards the preservation of culture, especially through visual and performing arts.
A number of students received awards in education, sports, and community service. Among the top students in education was Al Akel Parilo. In sports, Tishon Maxime, and in community service, the 4th Dominica St. Alfonso Scout Troop. The Cicero Award of Honor to be conferred upon a number of individuals on Thursday, Independence Day.
Among them, Sir Hilary Beckles, Professor of the University of the West Indies, for his contribution in the field of education. Dr. Kervin Ferreira for medicine. His Excellency Ambassador Julius Timothy, politics and business. His Excellency Ambassador Owen LaRocque, Secretary General of CARICOM, for his contribution to the public service. Ms. Jennifer Astafan also for the public service. And Cecil Peter Shillingford for disaster management. The Meritorious Service Award will be presented to Madura Walters for her contribution to education and community service. Margaret Alberta John Baptist also for the public service. Christopher Paquette, business and religion. Paul Alexander for community service and culture. His wife is expected to receive on his behalf. Dr. John Toussaint for agriculture and business. Mr. Charles Warty for his contribution to agriculture. Father Michel Favalier for his contribution to religion. Father Jacob Etienne Gist, religion. Ms. Glenda Bertrand for early childhood education. And the Service Medal of Honor will be presented to Delvin Esprit for sports.
In other top stories, the Dominican public has been assured that the concept of an international airport has not been swept under the rug. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, in responding to a question from a returning Dominican at Tuesday's forum, revealed that there were things happening in relation to that major project, but he was not at liberty to discuss the details.
But rest assured that the issue of international airport is on this government's agenda. Okay, and there are a number of things that are happening behind the scenes, which I'm not at liberty to discuss now. But we believe in due time, we can present a proposal and a case for the international airport. Because if you were going to be moving in the direction in which we are, and we should, in regards to more hotel rooms in the country and having 5-star accommodation in our country, then we have to look at the issue of long-haul flights, direct flights into Dominica.
The Prime Minister pointed out that an international airport was a massive undertaking and a lot has to be done to follow through on such a venture.
We have always supported the idea of the construction of international airport. The concern which we always raise is the cost and who will underwrite that cost. If you're to go through financing the airport with loans, then you will have a difficulty in the country being able to repay the loan. You see, because you have to look at how much you're making and how much you have to spend. So you'll have a challenge. But we believe that with a mix of loans and grants and possibly funds from non-tax sources, and of course depending on the overall cost of the airport. And when you look at Dominica and the valleys and the, any way you build this international airport, you have to do a lot of cut and fill and earth movement, and that is going to be a significant cost.
While highlighting that Caribbean countries with international airports heavily subsidize flights from Europe and North America, the Prime Minister said he hopes Dominicans would be supportive when the international airport plan is presented to the country. The idea of an international airport began with the Freedom Party government in the 1980s, followed on by the United Workers' Party, and now rests with the Labour Party administration. Dominica is positioning itself to be one of the top industrialized countries in the Caribbean through a cheaper energy source. Minister for Energy Ian Douglas says that with the development of the geothermal energy, more foreign companies will be attracted to doing business in the country.
Our goal is to be able to provide a cheaper, more reliable source of energy to our people in keeping with our theme of being the nature island of the world. Remember, everything that we do falls under that brand. So the geothermal energy will really position us as the leading nature island, not only of the Caribbean anymore, but of the world. And that is what we'll be offering. So we'll be like let's say, an industrialized country like Trinidad. People move to Trinidad because they have cheap energy, because they produce oil. More companies will be able to move to Dominica and set up their businesses in manufacturing and other processes, because geothermal energy eventually and ultimately will allow us to have a more cheaper, reliable source of energy.
Douglas highlighted that Dominica was the most advanced country in the region when it comes to geothermal energy development, and for that reason, the government is committed to advancing the sector.
So much so that just last month in the Prime Minister's budget address, we have committed, or he has committed, 15 million Eastern Caribbean dollars to the development of the project. And again, we can do that because not only because of proper management of the economy over the years, but because of our citizenship by investment program, where we allow businessmen and investors of high net worth around the country to be able to come into Dominica to invest. So they can either invest in real estate, in the development of real property, or they can make an investment into a fund we have called the Economic Diversification Fund, where these monies can be used to do things like the further development of the geothermal program.
The Geothermal Energy Development Bill was passed in Parliament last month. President of the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, Ariane Perryman, is supporting a plan to establish a hospitality school. The idea of a hospitality school has been proposed even before Perryman's time as DHTA president, and the DHTA would like government's assistance with that venture, which Perryman describes as a hand-holding journey with the public sector.
Our education system needs to be revamped to include hospitality services and some of the different services that we offer. The DHTA is looking forward to one day having a hospitality school. So we have specific people trained for our industry. We're expecting to have skilled bartenders, chefs, water sports personnel ready to serve the industry. No, it's not a full force plan, but it is discussion not just at the private sector level, but definitely the government is aware that there is a need for this. So continued discussion is necessary, as well as a partnership plan for something of this sort.
Perryman, who runs the Castle Comfort-based Dive Dominica Resort, says while DHTA expects a very fruitful tourist season, service providers have a lot more to do in delivering proper customer service.
If you look around Roseau, you can see that that the Ministry of Tourism has really been forceful in cleanups, in systems, in everything to do with making the country look its best for the Creole season and for the entry into our high season. Just ensure that everybody plays their part, right? That includes every single person from the cashiers at Save-A-Lot, at Astafan, to our vendors, to our taxi drivers, hoteliers. Everybody must continue playing their part. Our customer service needs improving, right? And I think as individual companies, we are working on it, but we need a national focus on hospitality, and that's something that the DHTA believes needs to begin as early as primary school.
Coming up, health and plans make the tourist feel safer here. Welcome back. Returning Dominicans have been updated on the Marigot Hospital project. Dr. Daru addressed the issue at a function at the State House on Tuesday.
Plans for the construction of a new Marigot Hospital continue. The location of the old Marigot Hospital, that's where the current hospital is, has been selected as a site for construction of a new hospital. And in this year's financial budget, we would have allocated $300,000 towards the design and planning for this new Marigot Hospital. The Ministry of Health has also taken, due to circumstances, to relocate the services of the old Marigot building into separate locations. This is temporary locations. One building has been retrofitted to house the primary healthcare services. That's what we like to refer to as a health center. And in addition, we also need an accident and emergency department. So we have assessed a number of sites, and we've selected the old junior high school at Marigot for retrofitting works to serve as the accident and emergency department for the Marigot Hospital. This is going to be to the tune of $1.2 million, which has been budgeted for.
Dr. Daru assured the public that government remains committed to ensuring that all citizens have access to health care despite the high cost of medical attention.
For years, we've been discussing, grappling, not just Dominica, in the region, international, the issue of universal health coverage and health insurance. And I'm pleased to announce that the Honorable Minister of Finance in this year's budget would have put in $5 million towards what we call a pilot insurance program, where we're going to target single mothers with children, I think under 3 years of age or something to that effect. And we stand by as the Ministry of Health to really assist in implementation. And we really welcome this, because all of this nice spanking new structure, like my friend Ian would say, and equipment would be futile if the average Joe farmer doesn't have access to these facilities.
In keeping with the theme of making health care accessible to all, the minister also disclosed that 2 new health centers would be constructed in Coliho and Vieques. Taxi operators will be pressured to adhere to standards as mandatory mechanical reports will be required this cruise season.
Mandatory mechanical reports are part of new measures being introduced by the Ministry of Tourism for the 2016-2017 cruise season. This follows an accident in January where a bus transporting cruise tourists to Trafalgar went over a precipice, resulting in injuries to 7 passengers and to the driver, and to the death of a 16-month-old boy. The tourism minister said all drivers would have to present a mechanical report to tourism authorities before they are approved to operate tours.
We're not asking them to go to any special person at this point in time, because we don't want to increase the cost. But what we will do is that during the year, we will actually do spot checks, and then we will pay to send that vehicle to a proper garage to make sure all the necessary checks are done to ensure that the bus is in a roadworthy condition. So the bus owners have to do a mechanical check in October, and they also have to do one in January, because again, 3 months have passed and so many things could have happened to a bus. So what we're trying to do is just to reduce the risk. And once you mention all of these things, everything that I'm saying to you, when you mention these things to the cruise line executives, you can see them nodding their head, because they realize that these are the important things that we need to put in place to ensure that they make more money, we make more money, the guests are safe.
The move is being commended by the Combined Taxi Incorporated.
I think it is only right, especially taking into consideration the accidents that we had last year. I think it is only right, although there are one or two operators who rumble about it. But I think it is a very good thing because you don't want to take a tour, have passengers on your vehicle, go out there, and then your vehicle run into problems. And then the report is, the people go back and say the vehicles here are in bad condition, they are not working well, and this is the report that the vehicle has not been serviced. So therefore, it is only right to present a mechanical report. So at the end, the authorities, anything happen, what will happen, the authorities, we the taxi operators, Combined Taxi, Discover Dominica or ANC Port Authority, DASPA, can present a document which is a mechanical report that the taxi was certified by this particular mechanic or this firm.
Dominica welcomed over 4,000 cruise tourists on Wednesday. The MV Britannia with 3,647 passengers docked at Roseau Cruise Ship berth, and the MV Silver Whisper with 540 passengers at the Woodbridge Bay. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
Meantime, beefed up security for tourists as a private security firm has been contracted by the Ministry of Tourism for that purpose.
You may notice some private firms around Roseau and certain locations. Again, it's just to help the experience better so that there is in fact no crime against visitors. Just to support what the police does, because again, the resources are limited. We have policemen at the various sites around Roseau and on the port. So just to complement that, the minister, again, that was one of the initiatives, has contracted a local security firm to assist with that. So we're hoping again that it will enhance the whole cruise product.
That's news. Now for your sports highlights.
The West Indies are on the verge of victory in the third and final test match against Pakistan after day 4. Pakistan, after being 89 for 4 overnight, were all out for 208, leaving the West Indies 145 for victory. The West Indies closed day 4 on 114 for 5, needing another 38 runs on the final day to win their first test match out of the Caribbean for a number of years. Scores in the match to date: Pakistan batted in the first innings, scored 281 and 208 in the second innings. West Indies 337 and 114 for 5. The first ever annual Under-14 cricket competition will begin on the 20th of November with a grand Bolorama at Benjamin's Park in Portsmouth. Mapping Sports caught up with the coordinator, Glenn Joseph, who spoke about the event.
Well, what is really coming up is the first annual 14 and under cricket competition that will bowl off with a Bolorama at the Benjamin's Park on the 20th of November, which is 3 weeks from now. We expect 14 teams from well over 50 communities to participate, and this is where we are in terms of organization. We have submitted letters to everybody who's supposed to be part of the tournament, and all this, the sports division really is the one coordinating the selection of teams, and I must mention that sports division is a partner in the event. Also, DBS has come on board as a partner, and then we're hoping to have really a fun time, also a grand time.
He also mentioned bridging the gap between the under-13 and under-15 competitions organized by the sports division.
It is the first of its kind in Dominica. What has happened is we've seen the need for creating that bridge between the under-13 and the under-15s, because what we've noticed over the years is the under-13 goes out there and do very well, but there is a little struggle with the under-15. So we realized if we could bridge this gap, then we would have a more successful under-15 cricket team on island. Well, we've not heard anything positive from the Dominica Cricket Association. I spoke to the president personally, and we anticipating some support from them. But as of now, we've not really confirmed as to what support they will be giving, neither if they will be giving any support.
To end the news, the headlines again. Returning Dominicans are told that government is still interested in building an international airport. DHTA supports plans for a hospitality school on the island. And 20 individuals to be honored for their service to country on Thursday. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNewsNov2nd2k16. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Andrea Louis. And to all our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. And to all Dominicans, have a happy and safe independence.